Welcome to the Jello Jiggling podcast. I'm your host Ryan Ward, and what a debacle that game was in OKC tonight. It was an epic battle between two really good teams in the West that could have gone either way down the stretch. Lakers were hanging; they were shooting the lights out again, which is crazy to do it 2 games in a row, especially against a team that's as good as Oklahoma City. But then the refs took the game in their own hands. Yeah, Luka was yapping, as Luka tends to do, and got a tech early, and then got another tech in the second half. But the ref got it wrong. He got it so wrong to the point where it changed literally everything about the game, the whole dynamic, the momentum the Lakers had, or the competitive drive and spirit. Anyway, so Luka hits this shot, and a fan on the sideline, I guess apparently one that's known, right? Some tattoo guy or OKC tattoo guy or something like that. Dave McMenamin, ESPN, interviewed him after the game, which is crazy to think about. But I mean, whatever. Props to him for doing that. And asked him what Luka said, or like, did Luka direct that at him? And he believed he did, and so did everyone else watching, except for the referee. I mean, granted, you look at the replay and you see the ref is like right about where Luka's directing his attention, right? But you can also tell he's not directing it directly at the ref. It's almost like the ref wanted a reason to boot him, right? Which is crazy. If you go a few games ago, I think it was Houston, Golden State, and Draymond Green is doing Draymond Green things, getting all chippy with Sengun, right, in the paint, and got teed up, and then just gets in the ref's face and like clapping obnoxiously, and basically like he can't control himself, and that's just Draymond Green, right? But you look at those two in comparison to what just happened tonight, and it's absolutely ridiculous and inexcusable. And I honestly think the refs need to be held accountable from here on out, because the refereeing has been really bad, I want to say, over the last 2-3 years. And I feel like it's getting progressively worse. I mean, even with the replays and the challenges and all that stuff, it's still super flawed. And I feel like it's going in a really bad direction. Maybe the refs feel disrespected that there's a challenge in the game now. I mean, it seems to work fine for the NFL. I mean, they have their gripes every once in a while, players, coaches, fans, whatever. But in the NBA, it's just kind of weird because some of these calls are just absolutely ridiculous. And I know the NBA hammers into their head like, hey, look, we want a safe game. We don't want things to get out of control. We don't want another Malice in the Palace, which is, I can't say it's never going to happen again, because the Pistons, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, got pretty rowdy, and got, kind of into the fans behind the basket, which resulted in a bunch of suspensions, but no punches were thrown. It was just a pushing match. It was just things got a little extra physical. But what they don't understand is that element of the game creates passion. It creates rivalries. It creates like a palpable feeling for the crowd and the fans. It creates anticipation for matchups like this that are going to be chippy. Guys aren't fighting like they used to fight back in the day, like Showtime Lakers and the Boston Celtics, like McHale, clotheslining Kurt Rambis and everybody goes nuts, or Kareem and Bird getting in each other's faces, or it's just that kind of physicality doesn't exist anymore. The bad boy Pistons era is over. It's throwing Jordan down every time he went to the paint and just wreaking havoc, like pushing boundaries as much as they possibly could, and winning 2 championships because of it. But that doesn't happen now. The game is completely different now. That's not going to happen anymore. I mean, the closest we got to it is like the Houston Rockets, I would say, like, just super physical and Dylan Brooks type, but it's still kind of laughable in comparison. It's not the same game, and it's never going to get there again. So why the hell are we being so soft with everything? Why is and then Luka gets booted for directing it at a fan, but the referee took it as if it was a direct shot at him, and he didn't even like hesitate. He was like, "You're gone," tee up, gone. And Luka's looking at him like, and Luka complains a lot, and he's always throwing his hands up, and LeBron does the same thing too. But this one you look at, and you could tell in real time. You didn't have to look at a friggin' replay. You could just tell in real time. It just was totally unjust, and it ruined the game. It ruined the game completely. The Lakers lost all kind of spirit. They just became pissed off, but pissed off not in a way that's going to turn it on. It was awful. It's the worst I've seen in a long time. Because it ruined a really good game. I mean, some people were saying the game of the year. I think that's stretching a little bit, but it was it was a really good competitive game against the two teams that could see each other in the playoffs very soon, right? And could be teams that determine who's going to the NBA Finals in the West. So what the hell are we doing? And then, as if that wasn't bad enough, to boot arguably the best player on the floor, they go and they assess Vando, who just balled out tonight. I thought he was great. Probably the best Vando game I think I've seen in maybe a year or two. They go, so Vando goes, and I think he dunked on Caruso or something. And he comes down and he just kind of stares at Caruso, but like nothing that anybody that's ever played ball has never done. And it wasn't like totally over the top or anything. It was just like 2 seconds and boom, tech. And I'm like, what the hell are we doing? The guy didn't even say anything. And then you go to the pool report after the game where they talk to the refs and ask them about why did you make this decision and that one. And it was just kind of basically a total denial of any wrongdoing, like, oh, we messed up here, we messed up there. No. I got to find it. I tweeted out a bunch of stuff tonight. I was livid because it just ruined a good basketball night, and it sucks. It should never happen. It should never happen in the NBA where a game gets ruined by the refs, and multiple times, not just once, because the Luka thing was bad enough, but you go and you do it to Vando too. It's like, okay, so here's the pool report, right? Why was Luka Doncic assessed the first technical foul by JT Orr, who is going to become infamous among Laker fans? He directed profanity at a game official, right? This is Tony Brothers, I believe. This is Tony Brothers? Yeah, the crew chief, Tony Brothers. Okay, that's fine. Whatever. Luka deserves those every once in a while. Why was Luka assessed the second technical foul by Orr? Same guy. Was it the official's judgment that he was speaking to him or to a fan? He looked directly at an official and used vulgar language. Really, dude. Really. Directly. Like, no, like, oh, maybe we have to look into it further. No. Directly. Like, really. Okay. So you got a fan admitting that there was a little back and forth with Luka. Luka in the post game said that I wasn't even looking at him. I was looking at the fan, reacting to the fan, which you've seen Luka do. Luka's only been in the Lakers, 25, 30 games, and you see him do it multiple times. It's just part of his thing, right? So you know what you're getting from Luka. He's going to engage with fans that talk shit and try and get him riled up, which never seemed to work, right? Except for this exception, but it was out of Luka's hands, right? Like the ref took the game in his hands and just ruined it. Just absolutely ruined it for the Lakers. They could have clinched playoff spot tonight if they won this game. They would have clinched. Done deal. That's going to happen anyway in the next, before Sunday or on Sunday or whatever. And they'll likely get the third seed from the way things are shaping up. But I think they have to win 2 out of the next 3. So you got Dallas tomorrow, and then you got Houston, I believe Friday, and then Sunday is the last game of the regular season in Portland. But regardless, man, it's just it ruined the like all this talk about the declining ratings and the game just not being the same because it's just a 3-point shootout and defense is just a thing of the past. Um, it sucks. It sucks that it has to go this way. And then here's what he said about Vando. So why was Jared Vanderbilt called for a technical foul? He was called for a technical foul for stepping towards and verbally taunting a player while the ball was dead. Wow, dude. From what I saw, Vando's mouth didn't move outside of a sneer. Like that was it. So where are you getting this verbally crap from? I mean, obviously, I'm watching it from TV. I wasn't in the building. I wasn't right there. There may be a cutaway, before he said something or just after it. You know, but from what I saw, that is BS. Total bullshit. Total bullshit. These guys need to be held accountable for mistakes, just like coaches are when they criticize these precious referees, and when players do. Like it's like even Luka and JJ Redick bit their tongues on the post game press. I thought JJ was going to go off because it changed the game, and it was so obviously changed the game, and that's going to piss off a coach more than anybody. And I feel like he was holding back, and he did have one quote. Let's see if I can pull it up because I tweeted that as well. Let's see. It was a great game that unfortunately didn't get to sort of finish out the way that I think every basketball fan would want it because of some decision making on some individuals' parts. That's the safest way to say, hey, the refs are the ones that screwed everything up. And I hope if he gets fined by the league by that, that's even more atrocious. Like it's just ridiculous at this point. I don't. What are you doing this for? That's what I want to know. What are you doing this for? Are you trying to stop any kind of physicality or like altercation? I what is I don't you there's being careful and there's being too careful where you literally wreck the beauty of this whole thing, right? The point of these guys is to basically destroy each other on the basketball court, right? And and the reason why they are there is because they have that passion, they have that drive more than anybody on the planet to get there and prove their worth. And now you're taking that away from them for shit that is just absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense to me. I really, I mean, it pisses me. I mean, it brings me back to when I was playing all the time. Like and if somebody were to penalize me for being who I am on the court, like it would drive me insane. That's when I would throw blows is when that happens. Not like give me a break. Well, what is Alex Caruso going to just turn around and deck Vando? No, no, I don't think there's anybody in the league that's really at that crazy level anymore. You know what I mean? That just has, I mean, there's Draymond, but you never see him unless it's a practice. You never see him, swing on anybody. Swinging does not happen anymore. It just doesn't. And if it does, it's a complete, it's so unexpected that it's shocking, right? It's just, I just don't get what they're preventing at this point. I don't. I feel like it's ridiculous. I feel like it's pointless. I feel like it hurts the game. It's like this is a time where you shouldn't be hurting the game unnecessarily. What are you telling these refs? Why? Or is it like an ego thing with the refs where they feel like they need to make these calls to stand out and have their name, across, headlines or in articles or whatever? I mean, being a ref is a thankless job. It sucks. I mean, I even believe that coaching is kind of getting to that point now. I mean, you look at what happened to Mike Malone earlier in the day. He got fired, and I think he's got the most wins of any coach over the last 5 years. Right? It's something ridiculous. Like, and we got big names in there: Steve Kerr, Spoelstra. Um, all the big boys that are successful right now, and he was like 20 games above them in terms of wins, and he gets canned just like that. I I just don't get any of that stuff anymore. I don't, and I believe the refs are just out of control. Like, because they're just they can do whatever the hell they want, but then nobody else can. Right? So they're like little dictators on the floor, you know. Um, and when stuff like this happens, I mean, what if this really costs the Lakers down the stretch here? What if the Lakers go on a, 3-game, or what would it be, 4-game losing streak to finish the season, and they're in the play-in or some crazy scenario? Um, that would suck. Obviously, like, be terrible. I don't know if they can drop below 8 at this point, but I mean, still, you know what I mean? You need every win you can get from here on out. And obviously the guys getting cleared today and all playing outside of Rui and Bronny. That doesn't matter, but you know what I'm saying. They wanted to win this game, and the way that they were playing, they were definitely, determined or trying to prove a point before heading to Dallas tomorrow and playing a game that's going to be all emotion, right? It's going to be all emotion. It's going to be all about AD and Luka, and especially Luka, obviously. Um, and they chose to do this, and now they get penalized for it. It's like, the league should be kissing their ass right now. This was not a nationally televised game. Uh, they could have easily sat, and it wouldn't be a huge deal, right? It would suck for fans that bought tickets and stuff, and I wouldn't be as engaged in this game, even though I kind of have to be, but still, I don't know. I just it's something's got to change, because that's just not right. It's just not right. And then they could rescind, the tech or whatever tomorrow. But what the hell does that? The damage is done, right? The damage is done. You can't close up this wound, man. It's already been done. It sucks. It really sucks. But you know what? To get beyond that, the Lakers did play a pretty damn good game. They hit 18 threes tonight, which is 4 short of what they did the previous game where they destroyed OKC. Now it's not sustainable. No, it's not. It's kind of crazy. It happened back-to-back games um, against arguably the best team in the league with the best defense in the league. It's a great sign of what this team can do against an elite team, right? But the fact is, if they lean on that too much, which they kind of did in the second half after the Luka ejection, you're jacking them up, and it wasn't a great look. But like, let's see what we got here. So they shot 45% from deep, 25. They hit 18 out of 40 shots. Pretty damn good, dude. The bench wasn't crazy, but except for Vando stood out. 8 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks, an assist in 20 minutes. He played great. I mean, you get that from Vando, and that's a game changer. But I mean, that's another thing. I don't think you can count on that. Gabe Vincent kind of had an off night, 1 for 6 from deep. Good one had 6 points. He had two threes. Connect hit 1 3, but he was only on for 14 minutes. I mean, Goodwin too with 13 minutes. So the bench wasn't really that impactful outside of Vando, right? Jackson Hayes had another kind of so. I mean, 7 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists. And 2 blocks. He doesn't have the same impact that he did, even just a couple weeks ago. It's kind of strange. I don't know if it's because just the 3-point shooting is just so lights out that they're just kind of leaning on that or what. But Luka went 3 for 7 from deep, 23 points before he got ejected. Austin Reeves hit 4 threes himself, 24 points. LeBron went 3 for 6, pretty good, but he had 6 turnovers and some pretty bad ones. Another really bad inbounds pass that was just super lazy, and one really strange fumble dribble coming from across half court and like going to the baseline, and he just completely lost control of the ball. And I feel like that's happening more and more with him. And it's probably just an age thing, and people are going to write it off as just kind of a fluke, but there is a trend there. There's a trend with him, like that kind of stuff, missing layups, gimmies, these these weird lazy passes and inbounds plays, and um, he's just a little off. He's just not himself. And he scored 28 points. That's the crazy thing. But it obviously didn't matter. It wasn't impactful, you know. DFS, he hit 4 threes, 14 points. Awesome. That guy's been super consistent lately. So it's unfortunate. They lost by 16, but the score does not really dictate how this game went at all. I mean, at all. The Lakers played well in the third quarter. They outscored OKC 26-17. They did. I thought they were going to win. I really did. I mean, you keep waiting for these what you would think is an inevitable run by OKC, but the most telling stat is Luka gets bounced, and they go on a 29-12 run for the rest of the game. That's it. That's it. If Luka was still in there, this is a game that goes down to the wire with the last shot, or goes into overtime, or the Lakers pull away, or the OKC slightly gets a win. It just changed the friggin' game, and it sucks. And I hope. I doubt the NBA will probably just like wash their hands of it, move on. We've got Dallas. We'll just hype up this game, this Luka revenge game, But anyway, let's move on to that because this game's over, and I'm pissed. I'm going to remain pissed, but I'm not alone. I'm sure there's tons of you out there that are just feel exactly the same way, if not way worse. So we got Dallas tomorrow. Another early game, I believe. In LA, it's what time? Like 4:30? Yeah. Oh no. 5:30. Yeah, I think so. On ESPN, nationally televised game. One of 3 games remaining. They got Houston and LA on Friday, and then like I said, in Portland on Sunday, and then we're gonna just see how all this shakes out. Who ends up facing who, and yada yada yada. But the 3 seed looks like it could be the Lakers, especially with Denver. All of a sudden firing Malone out of nowhere. They could collapse. That they're already without Murray, and it's kind of a shaky thing there. Like they're kind of non-committal on his status for the playoffs. That's a whole nother weird dynamic. But this Dallas game is going to be must-see TV, and I think it's. I said this in the previous pod, but Davis and Luka have every incentive to show that they are generational guys, and they're on another level, and don't trade me without my say so, because I'm gonna destroy you when I see you, and I hope that happens. I hope it happens on both sides because I like Davis. I've always liked Davis. And I love Luka. He's really grown on me. I was a fan before he came to the Lakers, and now I'm just like I see him every other day, and I'm like, Jesus, this guy's even better than I thought. Kind of how I felt about Davis when he came to the Lakers. Like I knew he was really good, but when that 2020 year, I was like, damn, he's better than I thought. I mean, I obviously you pick Luka over AD. I think Luka's just kind of the perfect kind of player for today's game, just because he's just so incredible offensively, and he can shoot the lights out. But yeah, this is going to be a fun game. It's going to be a lot of emotion. I'm sure ESPN and the NBA are going to hype the shit out of this game from the moment we wake up to the moment the game is over. Hopefully, it's a thriller. I hope it's a thriller, and then I hope the last 2 games are just kind of whatever, and the Lakers can get some easy W's, but I don't think Houston's going to be an easy W by any stretch. But I think they're locked into the 2 seed now. So it's 1 and 2 are locked in the West, and it's just basically who's third, and 3 to 8. Where does that go? Just because they're so, I want to look at the standings real quick before I get off here. Let me see. Okay. So, yeah, Houston's too far ahead. So they're locked in the 2. Clippers are in the fourth seed now. Holy hell! I didn't know that. So they're one game behind the Lakers. Oh my god! Wow, look at that. So Clippers, Denver, Golden State, Memphis are all a game back from the Lakers. And you wonder why they played today. I honestly thought they were going to just punt this game. I really did, but they didn't. I figured punt it, put all the emotion into the next game. What the hell does that mean? PB? There's a weird designation next to the Sacramento Kings. Oh, clinch the playoff berth. Huh. All the way down there, huh? Okay. Whatever. I think Phoenix got eliminated today too, which is sad state of affairs for that team, but who cares? Whatever. They swung with KD and Beal, and it didn't work. So I'm sure that team will be retooled over the summer. Maybe the Lakers look to pick their bones a little bit. Who knows? But yeah, get your popcorn ready because Dallas is going to be fun. It's going to be intense. I talk about heated. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some text thrown back and forth tomorrow on both sides, whether it's AD or Luka or the enforcers on both teams. I don't even know if you can call players enforcers in the NBA anymore. But whatever. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be worth a watch. It's probably the last watchable game of the regular season, maybe across the league. Actually, I don't know what the other schedules are like, but this one is definitely something I've had circled on my calendar. I'm sure most Lakers fans too have, and Dallas, Mavericks fans, the suffering fans. But until that time, I'll get back on here tomorrow night and we'll talk about it. I'll see you later.